is my favorite guinea pig, my student Mackenzie, and her 13-year-old warm blood mare. And I told her, don't you ever come to a lesson again in a tank top. And not to mention, it's like 50 degrees outside. I tell you, kids, I just don't know how they do it. But this is a little equitation ride-off that we were practicing. So she had a rollback turn to begin with, and then a long approach to an oxer there, and then another little rollback to a trot fence. Nope, stepped out of the canter there, but she got it back together pretty nicely. And then a halt at the end.
Yes, so there's a lot going on in this, and so while we are looking at it, Patricia, how about I can go to the video and let's start it back from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And you go ahead and make some comments too.
Oh, okay. So I think the first thing that I noticed, Patricia, was, like you said, her shirt. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought, well, maybe it's warm and maybe it's hot, so it's but like you say, if you're going to your riding lesson, wear a shirt with sleeves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what did you say to her?
I just told her, I said, don't come back in for another lesson with the tank top on, because I'll send you home.
Yeah. So, and why is it not right to do that? Why, like, I mean,
I just think
it's people know why it's not good.
It's a level of informality that we don't need. You know, it's a level of informality, and bare skin, I just think, doesn't really have a place in riding, especially in a lesson, you know, where you want to show some respect for the situation that you're in and your instructor. So you're not at the club.
You think it's a safety thing too?
Oh yeah, I think if you fall, you definitely will get less scraped up with sleeves, for sure.
Yeah, that's why one reason why I always thought, but I know it's a rule even in the warm-up areas. Mm-hmm. Tank tops aren't permitted, and I think, like you say, it shows respect for the horse and for yourself and for the teacher as well, instructor.
I mean, when you go to a dance lesson, you wear your dance gear. When you go to a football scrimmage, you wear your football outfit. When you go to a lesson, you wear your riding outfit.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. So she's doing something with this left hand here.
She tends to drop her left hand.
She drops her left hand and it's flat. So rather than getting the bend through the horse's neck using a direct rein, she's
using a little bit of an
open rein with the flat hand. Yeah. So and when you drop your hand down like that, it tends to drop your shoulder down as well. Mm-hmm. You know, if you think if you use a direct rein, it keeps your shoulders level and keep yourself balanced. But if you drop your hand down, you kind of tend to drop yourself down there as well, right?
Right.
And this is great because we can stop the video and pick everything apart.
And when you use an opening rein too, you're displacing the horse's weight, which is something you might not necessarily want. You know, sometimes you can get them leaning on that rein.
Right. So if you use a left open rein, it tends to bring the weight onto the left shoulder, which maybe you don't really want.
Her stirrups almost look a little long too, huh? It looks like we could maybe go up a hole on the stirrups.
I have to say, you know, the horse is so steady and so even throughout the whole thing. Like throughout the whole course, the horse's pace didn't change at all. You know, it was always a steady canter. Now, to me,
that's something, some horses have that naturally, but it's something you can develop. We worked a lot on this horse with consistency of the canter. Consistency of the canter on circles and through exercises. And you can get that nice rhythm by work as well as a horse that does it naturally. But a good canter is the key to jumping, I think. Gives your horse the rhythm, the pace, the stride, It's just essential to have a good canter. An inconsistent canter leads to inconsistent jumps.
Oh, that's really good. Inconsistent canter leads to inconsistent jumps. She does that thing with her hand again.
Yeah, she's
rather than going to her leg, she goes to her left hand to get the horse straight. Easy. Love the way she's looking around to her jump. And she turns her shoulders and her eyes, but she keeps her body quite still. You know what I mean? I mean, it's lovely.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Looking through the turn very well.
Yeah, looking through the turn, using her outside rein and leg, and there she comes to the next jump. Good. She's got to. Okay, looks like she's peeking down for the jump for the lead.
Yes. Yes.
So this is something that's that for me is kind of a pet peeve. I really hate it when people look down for their leads as a coach, and even as a judge. If you were going into an equitation class, Patricia, and you were judging an equitation class, would you mark that down, or would you take notice of whether or not the rider looked down for the lead?
I would definitely take notice of that. Absolutely. I mean, I think you have to see how things come out in the mix to know how much you're going to count off for it, but it's definitely going to be some deduction for sure. And it's a hard habit to break, don't you find? I mean,
and I like what you say, Patricia, it's a habit. It's a habit. Rather than teaching your body how to feel for the lead, people look down. Granted, she just looks down for a stride. I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see, but she just looks down for a stride. I mean, some people, they have to hang over.
Yeah. Some people really exaggerate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would, and it could be a tiebreaker or a drop down a point or two, if you look down. But she wants to make sure she gets the lead and keep the horse balanced. Good, got perfect lead. Love the way she looks around for her corners. The horse is going forward. She's picked up the pace a little bit here, which is nice. Good. Look at that nice, just automatic release. Perfect for the size of jump.
Yeah, I always tell my students, when you have a rollback turn or a tight turn, you need to take the fence a little conservatively, because you don't want to blast on down to the fence and then have a rough turn afterwards. So I think that's important.
So you mean before she comes to the last jump?
The jump before your turn. Like if you have you're jumping a jump and then you have a rollback turn, or you have a tight turn, or you have a trot fence afterwards, you want to take a conservative first fence. This is a long approach to a single, so I like the way she moved up a little for it.
Right, to a single oxer.
This mare is just a lovely mover. I think she wins all her hack classes. She's just got such a nice light canter.
So steady too. Okay. Oh no, she does the trot. So she came to the trot just a little early. Is that what you're saying, Patricia, on this one?
She trotted about at the right time when you come out of the corner, but the horse just broke back into the canter for a stride. See, right here is where I like to trot. As you turn the corner, her initial place that she trotted, as you turn the corner and head straight towards a trot jump, that's when I like to trot. And then the horse just broke stride for a stride, broke gait for a stride. But she got it back together and got a good trot fence. To me as a judge, breaking early like that is less of a fault than cantering that last stride or two right in front of the jump.
Okay. Yeah, it's too bad that she didn't just keep that trot. Just keep it. Yeah, but the horse stays.
Trot fences take a lot of practice in the middle of a course, I think. If you're starting out warming up over trot fences, that's one thing. But it's a good test, because getting the horse going in a forward mode, jumping consecutive jumps, and then all of a sudden throwing a trot fence in there is not easy.
Yeah. So, what does she do after the fence here? So she should sit up a little bit more and keep the horse together.
Mhm.
And then after, it looks like, okay, she looks for the lead.
Yeah, looking
Yeah,
down. For
that's
lead.
a habit that we got to break.
Yeah, yeah. I think when she came out of the corner at that trot, she kind of set her hands. Her hands weren't really working with the horse to hold the trot. She kind of set
Right
them
here?
on the neck a little bit. Yeah, right about
Right there.
there.
Yeah.
So you just kind of set the hands on the neck a little bit instead of working with the horse to keep that trot.
And I think too, I mean, we're getting picky here, right?
Mhm.
Which is great. That she could have kept the bend a little bit more
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
rode the horse a little bit more over top of the fence to keep the lead.
Right.
Not
right.
that, I mean, the horse has beautiful lead changes, so yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
Nice.
Mhm.
But I see what you mean about her hands.
Yeah, she set up a little soon there, but she was anticipating the canter. And even with that, the canter transition was just so-so, not one of my favorite canter transitions. There was a little bit of pull and resistance going on there.
Yep. I like the fact that she doesn't over jump the jumps, you know, like she's
Mhm.
okay, so there's a lot of pulling going on. Love that she's using her legs to keep the horse going forward, but I do see a lot of pulling and then nothing really happening.
Mhm. The horse never kind of dropped his head and relaxed into the halt like I like to see.
Yeah, there's lots of tension there, isn't there?
Mhm.
Excellent. So what can we do to help this rider?
Well, I think gymnastics where she has to look ahead and can't drop down to check the lead. A lot of times what I do after a fence, set a fence in the middle of the ring, and when they land, they have to feel which lead they're on and turn in that direction instead of automatically getting a lead change. And I just tell them they have to keep looking up and feel that lead as long as it takes to make that turn. What about you? What suggestions do you have?
So for this rider, I
Mhm.
would like to see her. I love your gymnastic exercise. Being able to feel the horse. I mean, you could even walk that back to lunging and teaching her how to feel what her hips are doing when the horse is trotting. Does she look down also when she does her diagonals?
No, she's pretty good about her diagonal. It's mainly to set up that lead change. She's worried that, she won't catch the lead in enough time to set up the lead change. But you just have to start to feel it and trust in your feel.
Yeah, exactly. Trust in your feel. I like your exercise, putting the jump in the middle to feel the horse. Okay, so we do have a comment here. Charlie says lunging without reins. Lunging without reins so that she gets her elbows softer. And I mean, I'm thinking back up the bus too, to lunge, to do exercises to help her feel what's happening with her seat so she can feel her horse in the saddle. So even riding back is doing and feeling what your hips are doing. So all those kind of investigative exercises to help her just feel. And you know what? Just keep your head up. Just keep your head up. Keep your head up and teach yourself how to feel it rather than looking for it. Like you say, Patricia, it's a habit. Like her lower leg is good. Her legs are good. Her release is good. She's not interfering with her horse. It's those little things. Her hand dropping down, maybe to ride with the stick underneath your thumb so she doesn't drop her hand down.
And this is what I call a low intermediate rider, maybe high novice. So these are kind of common habits that they have to overcome at that stage. I'd expect a rider that's more of an intermediate rider doing 2-3 foot as opposed to 2-6 to have a little more finesse because they've got more time under their belt, more experience.
So with your exercise of setting a jump up in the middle is a great one, is to put it one jump up in the middle, jump it, and turn to the direction that your lead is on. Is that what you're saying?
Great. Feel the direction of the lead that you're on and turn in that direction so you don't have to get it changed. And it gets you used to feeling the lead and then not having the pressure of having to get it changed, but just being able to relax and feel the lead.
Practice at home what you're going to do at the horse show. Excellent. Now go use this stuff and go hug your horse. See ya.